Apparently we missed a lot. I saw people were asking me to watch this video about Adin Ross, and apparently Adin Ross himself reacted to this video called Adin Ross Will Never Change by Patrick CC. I will say that's factually incorrect. I've seen him in at least 2 different shirts, so I know he's changed before. Ha ha! Good little boomer joke. Let's get this party started.
Adin Ross is one of the biggest live streamers of the past 2 years, who recently got a massive payout that is potentially worth tens of millions of dollars to abandon Twitch and move to a new live streaming platform called Kick.
Yeah, I think he got banned before the offer was finalized, though. I would have offered him less money at that point. I would have been like, you just got banned, bro. Pay cut. Boom.
Ever since this move, he has been on a tirade of shock value content, saying and doing whatever he wants to.
Well, he's always made shock value content. Let's be real. It's just hasn't been like anti woke shock value. It's always been kind of gay baity. Like he's always made kind of like, you know, shocking like videos that were kind of like, and there's nothing wrong with it. I know he got called out by his own community and called him like some kind of a like Biden Ross or whatever. And now he's doing like anti-woke shock value, so he's just shocking a different audience. I think that's something that people should understand, is that he hasn't changed anything. He's just trying to appeal to a new audience now.
Go viral, and it's working. Kick has an extremely lenient terms of service, so he now has the comfortability to speak his mind freely without potentially losing his money. And these days, he is not holding back. Now, it's not like Adin had a squeaky clean reputation. When I documented his come up 2 years ago, I covered all of his major controversies, as well as the genuine hard work it took to reach the top of the live streaming industry. At that point, he was definitely an edgy kid, but it seemed like his heart was in the right place. These days, his intentions are unclear, so let's take a look at what happened to Adin Ross. From streaming with every major rapper in the industry.
Money, that's all. That's pretty much it. Money corrupts, baby. It's crazy stuff.
Losing his girlfriend, making extremely down bad content, meeting Andrew Tate, and changing his entire online persona forever. Picking up where we left off around May of 2021, Adin was on top of the world. He was one of the top 5 most subscribed and most viewed streamers on Twitch, averaging around 100,000 viewers per stream. He just reached 1 million subscribers on his Adin Live YouTube channel, which he treats like his main channel. And he did a collaboration stream with just about every mainstream rapper in the industry. It was very clear he was here to stay, and some people didn't like that. Those people were known as the Poggers community, or as Adin called them, the L Nerds. This community is basically composed of all the top streamers on Twitch who helped build the platform's foundation years before Twitch was as popular as it is today.
Did they really not like Adin for doing what he did? Was that like an actual thing? I wouldn't really know if that is true. That's interesting.
Poggers is an emote that people spam in the chat when something good or funny happens. Adin's community is known as the W and L community. That community is composed of Adin's friends and the new wave of Twitch streamers. And instead of spamming Poggers, the commenters will spam W or L. A couple of top streamers in the Poggers community threw some shade at Adin and his viewers.
His viewers are like the kids in high school who want to be cool. You know, like, oh, like I like rap, I like, you know, like this sort of stuff. Like kind of like hypebeast-ish.
Yeah, they're all very
you know,
hypebeast-ish.
Like they think like if Supreme was cool, they think it would be cool, sort of thing.
I go in there and I literally have fun in Adin Ross's stream because I don't watch it, but I'm literally just spamming letters.
You're like, yeah, I'm included. W.
I just spam W nerd.
He said spam W.
Adin responded.
I think that this just shows like a profound lack of self-awareness for those streamers to be saying that when like people would just say the same thing about them. The only difference, here's the only difference. Let me explain to you how the hierarchy works, based on what my understanding, right? So you have the Poggers community, that's them, right? Those are the adults, and then like area you have like the WL community, right? Now I'm not saying the WL is below them. The point that I'm trying to make here is that these people just happen to be older. These people are younger. And so older people tend to look at other people and go, that's kind of immature, and look down on them. And which is happening here. The problem is that the entirety of society would look down on a fucking community of a bunch of kids, a bunch of like grown adults going around with the dumbest fucking bullshit drama, complaining because one of my friends didn't show up to my stupid fucking Twitch event, and then everybody crying about how this is a big fucking deal. Like, that's the reality. We have a fundamental lack of real people like holding dumb fucks like the Poggers community accountable for being like so vastly immature. We need more literal 12. We need more truck drivers doing YouTube content so they can react to just be like, wow, this is stupid. This is dumb. Because nobody that's like at the top has anybody to really monitor the way that they act, think, or feel, because like they're the most mature in the sphere. And that might be true, but that doesn't make the sphere as mature as the real world. And that's kind of where we're at right now. That's just the reality.
Viewers are like the kids in high school who want to be cool.
Don't disrespect my viewers like that. You guys literally have fucking Hall of Fame nerds, Hall of Fame threats in your chat that spam poggers, Omegalo the entire stream, bro.
Yeah, true.
You guys are unfunny streamers. You guys are not funny, bro.
Yeah.
You guys are not funny at all.
Face, true.
Fat, pimple-faced, four-eyed people with social problems. Watch you guys, bro. I don't call you guys fans. What kind of conversation do you guys think that they have? You guys think they just look at each other and say poggers, Omegalo, shove an Omegalo in my eyes. Like, they're weird, bro. They're weird.
Followed by a tweet that Adin sent to Ludwig. You really are sad for coming at me and my community.
Damn.
L nerd, go play your violin. Ban geek. From there, Adin's audience went and attacked Ludwig, sending death threats to him and his girlfriend,
that's a little
QT Cinderella.
disproportionate.
This beef was really silly and definitely overblown. It was solved very quickly when Adin and Ludwig both apologized to each other, but it set the standard of how powerful Adin's audience is, that he could militarize and accelerate his audience to defend him in any beef. But one day, they would eventually turn on him. In the meantime, Adin was making an insane amount of money, specifically from gambling. His top sponsor was a company called Roobet, an online crypto casino that was paying him at least $1 million per month, according to a private conversation that Adin leaked himself.
So the sponsor, they pay me to play on their website, right? And then they pay me an amount to gamble with. However, if I lose the amount, I have to withdraw my own money.
So Adin was able to secure tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit daily without risking his own money. An average streaming day for Adin was online gambling, talking to his chat, reacting to videos, hanging out with famous rappers, influencers, or streamers, and of course, being sus.
I'm rapping in the streets.
Yo.
Whoa.
In the streets.
Whoa.
Bad beat
whoa.
is me.
No.
Wait,
no.
Now, despite all the success that Adin was bringing to Twitch, they always found a way to let him know they won't let him have too much power. During an IRL stream, Adin was driving his Lamborghini and reading his Twitch chat at the same time.
Yeah, you can't really do that. I think on YouTube you might be able to technically, like, I don't know if it's like you can't drive at all, or if you just can't read the chat. Twitch might be a little more aggressive on it, saying that you can't drive at all, which makes sense because you could get in accident and you could hurt somebody, and then that would make Twitch look bad. So I understand that, but yeah, you got banned for that.
Twitch gave him a temporary ban for using his phone while driving.
Yeah,
Just because you can really lose the shit like quick, bro. And people, I don't know, I'm just so horrible. I just fucked up, bro. I fucked up. I got banned on Twitch, guys. I didn't get anything back yet. I think it's a permanent ban. I'm gonna appeal it. I was 100% in the wrong though. I was at a red stoplight and I was reading Twitch chat off my phone.
Adin realized that his career, his relevance, his freedom was always going to be at the mercy of Twitch and following their rules, something that he would ultimately grow tired of. As you can imagine, streaming for 5 to 8 hours per day can be extremely repetitive, and having over 100,000 live viewers expecting you to bring something fresh and exciting.
That's why I try to do like 2 or 3, not 3, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 hours at the most a day, and I just like watch some videos and get off because it's not hard at all, but it gets like if you do too much, it's like a weird burnout. You know, especially since I gotta talk the whole time. I mean, I love talking, but it's like weird. When I was at my other job, I would just like work, and there's like something less burning out about that. I'm obviously it's harder work, but you know what I mean? It's hard to explain.
Every day is a lot of pressure. An easy way to take up some time is with drama. He started a fake beef with Rice Gum to prank their viewers.
Open up now. You want to talk all that shit on f***ing Twitch? Shit, open up.
Fake beef or not, this shit is entertaining. Just a week after this, Adin played another prank on his viewers. He did an IRL stream where he met up with his fans, and the cops were called due to how much chaos there was on Melrose in Los Angeles. Adin and his team set up a fake arrest to fool his viewers, but the next day he let everybody know that it was just a prank. His fans were not happy. He's just starting to fake everything now, when the initial reason why people were drawn to him was because he was genuine. Adin's focus has shifted from being a Twitch streamer to being this viral internet sensation. The whole point of Twitch is that it's raw and organic, but he's bringing this weird YouTube element to it. If this is really the direction he wants to go for money and attention, so be it, but he has to learn to embrace the hate that comes with it. His viewers...
Well, that's actually a very mature criticism. I agree. Like, there's like that's one of those problems. It's like those views get so addictive that people will start to fake drama and controversy, you know, just for attention. And it's one thing to do like a little fake one, like, hey, Rice Gum, we were just kidding though, versus like constantly doing it. If you do it once, every once in a while, it's like a silly little thing. But if you keep playing it up, people are just gonna think that you're not honest or genuine. It's kind of just cringe and lame. Yeah, that's why when you got in a low view period, just be in a low view period. Just like focus on life, you know. Being like doing Twitch content or like doing streaming content or really any content like this is just about. It's just supposed to be like, you know, you shouldn't lie or anything, but it's supposed to be, excuse me, about having the money to like spend on yourself and your family and to be happy. It's not supposed to be like a never-ending like constant like chase to be at the top. You know, it's good to be like get recognized, but you don't want to be recognized for stupid things, right? Like that.
were possibly overreacting. A few fake pranks and they are ready to just write him off. I mentioned this to show how fickle an audience can be with live streaming. Because they spend hours of their time watching you, they develop an understanding of who they think you are. You do one thing they don't like, they immediately criticize and say you are changing for the worse. Balancing this and Twitch's strict rules was eventually going to give. But Adin went back to a very classic style of content for him, e-dates. In these streams, Adin would typically invite a girl. Sometimes it would be a famous Instagram model, a prawn star, or just a generally attractive girl. And he would have his streamer friends get a minute or two to talk to the girl and try and win her over. The girl would ask questions, they would ask her questions, and she would slowly eliminate the contestants. Basically, the Twitch version of a classic dating show. Still to this day, this is Adin's most popular type of content. This content eventually upgraded to IRL dates, where he would put a streamer friend of his on a blind date with a girl, in person. This dynamic was a lot more realistic because 90% of the things contestants said on e-dates, they wouldn't actually say to the girl's face. But eventually, this would all reach a tipping point that made Adin want to give up.
It's not really the numbers anymore, but the problem is that people make me feel bad about dropping numbers. I think that's a very big problem I have. It gets to me a lot. Just because I'm not getting 100K like I used to, it went down from 100 to 50 to like 30, 40, like 30, 40-ish now. So it gets to me.
Around October of 2021, Adin was losing.
Yeah, that makes sense too. I mean, that's just how the world's going to be, man. You're going to have like fluctuating viewership and numbers. People can be very toxic about like you not doing as well as you used to. It's weird. Even if you're still like, imagine going from 150 to 30K and you're like, wow, what a loser. Now imagine going from 500 views or 100 views to 30K. You're like, wow, that's impressive. You know, not everyone's always going to be on. There's also probably the factor of COVID inflating the number of like views available because people were like at home more and they weren't working as much, etc., etc. But like, what a weird thing to shame somebody for. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of childish. It's usually people who don't like somebody anymore, just being like, "Oh, you fell off, you're a loser," and it can be annoying to deal with. Because it's just like weird and immature, and it's always like kids that like, will never be on. You know. It's weird. It is weird, you know? But hey, it is what it is. Personally, just ban those people. That's what I would do. People will say that to me sometimes, like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care. But, like, you're obviously just here to be a fucking obnoxious little kid. And you're not even engaging in the content, you know? But everybody goes through struggles, guys. And it is what it is. And that's one of the things you got to deal with when you're a fucking big poopy head. When you used to have 2.5 million views.
Viewership from 100,000 average viewers to around 30 to 40,000 average viewers. It's totally normal to lose a lot of viewership, and 30 to 40K average would make him still an insanely successful streamer. But his audience was still quick to remind him that he fell off. To make things worse, the ethical and legal implications surrounding his Roulette sponsor was being broken down very extensively by CoffeeZilla in a series called Roulette's House of Cards. This was executed so well that it caused a lot of streamers to abandon their partnerships with the company. Social media users became more aware of the shady online crypto casinos and their tactics to get people addicted to gambling.
Well, let's be real. Those streamers already knew the problem. They just didn't care because they were making money. Let's not pretend that they're like, oh my god, I didn't realize that. You know, they did. Yeah.
Ethics of streamers using their influence to show their potentially underage viewers how much fun and excitement comes with gambling were challenged. Since these streamers do not have to gamble with their own money, which is the entire risk of gambling, if they lose, they don't actually lose. So they're never able to show the actual downsides and what potential catastrophes can happen when you gamble all of your money away. Adin announced the world that he was depressed and needed to move out of LA. He was exhausted. This was the first time we had ever really seen Adin stop moving at 100 miles per hour. At some point, it is impossible to maintain that level of hype. To be that entertaining for hours on end, day in and day out, it's just unsustainable. He moved.
Yeah, it's a burnout, man. That's why I was like kind of happy when I got my my ban. They overturned the thing, but because like I was also in like you get in that kind of content brain, you just can't stop, and it kind of overwhelms you sometimes. So, you know, sometimes it's good to just take a break and be like, okay, this is not just about making money. You know, it's about like enjoying yourself and your life, and you know, having a day where maybe you don't stream or you don't do this or you don't do that isn't going to hurt you. It might be good for you overall from like a mental perspective, especially if there's really nothing to do or talk about. You know, sometimes you just don't have to talk if I'm, oh, fuck me in the balls. There's nothing to talk about, you know?
Moved out of the clout house in LA and took his career back to New York. He took a very short 10-day break from streaming before he realized that he cannot give up. He came back with a bang. His first stream back was a live stream with Lil Uzi Vert, who was easily the most famous rapper he had ever streamed with. With a fresh mindset and another huge milestone, he was ready to grind again. He also got a brand new crypto casino sponsorship with Stake, so gambling was a regular program for him again. Also, the e-dates were back, even though one of them was about to take an unexpected turn for the worse. Adin invited iShowSpeed to do an e-date with Ash Cash, who was the celebrity guest for the evening, but Speed took things too far. Basically, Speed threatened to R-word Ash Cash, and I would play the clip so you can see the context, honest, but Speed likes to illegally copyright strike any video that has him featured in it. This guy
That is true. He had, that's another controversy. That's when people are really starting to lose their charitability for him. It was a joke of him being like, if it was just two of us on an island, would you be with me? She's like, no. He's like, well, who's gonna stop me, right? Really edgy joke. You know, it's definitely inappropriate. I've defended that kind of stuff before, but then like he did go to the point where he started like falsely copyright striking people. So it's like, you know, we're at a point now where like, what's defensible anymore about this person? You know what I mean? Like they clearly don't give a shit about anything that's going on. So it's the Streisand effect. I think with that, he's instantly like decimated his credibility. A lot of people are just kind of over it now, and they're not really too keen on giving him any like more benefit of the doubt for like all the bad stuff, because it was more than that. It was like the joke. It was the you know, the mocking Asian people, blah blah blah. But
got Speed permanently banned on Twitch while he was just a guest on Adin's stream. This controversy was huge, but it was pretty clear that Adin was not at fault here. Even though a lot of people put the blame on him, Speed's actions didn't fully represent how the E-dates normally work. All this did was bring more attention to Adin's streams and made the E-dates even more popular. Most streamers benefit from controversy. People get really angry, flood them with casual viewers, and then forget about it a week later. It's the sweet spot of being controversial but not pissing off the masses, and more importantly Twitch, where Adin was constantly balancing, and he's damn good at it. He knows exactly where to be edgy, where he can make it seem like he has no filter to excite his audience.
I just turned this motherfucker gay. He likes sucking.
Nah, bro, you're not even 2 bars in.
I'm saying you.
He knows when to act dumb so his audience can bully him.
Georgia.
And that.
I gotta be fucking tripping. Is this maybe years ago? How is Atlanta all over here?
And he is an absolute mastermind when it comes to virality. However, one of his beefs, he almost took it too far. That was with the rapper NBA Youngboy, which started when a Youngboy fan page liked a photo that Adin's girlfriend Pammy posted. Adin didn't believe it was real. He spent 2 minutes in straight silence staring at this, wondering why NBA Youngboy could be potentially romanticizing his girlfriend. His audience convinced him that it was real, even though it wasn't. So Adin conducted
they just liked a picture of his girlfriend? Why would that matter in general? Unless he was trying to play it up for attention or some kind of clout grab.
A master plan that involved setting up one of his friends
so
and that it was why NBA Young didn't believe it was real. He spent 2 minutes in straight silence staring at this, wondering why NBA Youngboy could be potentially romanticizing his girlfriend.
I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I didn't think he was mature enough to maintain any relationship. But
audience convinced him that it was real, even though it wasn't. So Adin conducted a master plan that involved setting up one of his friends with NBA Youngboy's ex, Jania. While Jania was on an Instagram live, Adin requested to join and asked if his friend Paryeet could spit some game to her. A bunch of people screen recorded the videos and posted them online saying that Adin was flirting with Youngboy's ex. So Youngboy decided to make a lethal threat to Adin in a song.
Well, I mean, even if he was, like, if it's your ex, you don't have ownership over this person. It's kind of like, not to get too woke, but there's almost like a fucking, you know, weird. That's weird in and of itself to be that possessive over an ex there. You know, I get it over like a girlfriend or a friend, like a good friend of yours. Like, and maybe that's what the context we're missing. Like, yo, don't date my ex because that could be weird. I get that. But like, you don't own this woman. When you're in a relationship, there's mutual ownership. So I get it. But if you're not dating, who gives a fuck?
The same day. Adin responded to the diss track with a fake apology and a meme, before quickly realizing the next day what type of beef he was truly getting into. Adin is obviously not from the streets, doesn't live a dangerous life, and probably knew deep down that no real gangster is going to hurt him. But still, he knew he couldn't poke the bear too much, because with Youngboy's reputation, it wasn't worth it for Adin to take any chances, and eventually he apologized and stopped trolling the rapper. It was either this beef that went too far, or just him feeling generally exhausted again. But around the end of 2021 and beginning of 2022, Adin slowed down a bit. Every month in 2022, his views just kept dropping. Even though he was streaming pretty consistently, sticking to his gambling, reactions, and e-dates, he wasn't doing any viral stunts nor getting into unnecessary controversy, just satisfying his fans and chilling like every other streamer. Despite his more relaxed approach to Twitch, in April of 2022, he found himself in another big controversy. Adin was becoming a victim of DDoS attacks. These attacks can occur when—
You know what the controversy I'm experiencing is? Every time you level up, there's this constant wall of new unlocks that you get that you can't cancel, and you can't do anything to use your fucking talents while it's going on, or else it'll just extend the length of it being on the screen. So that's the fucking controversy I'm going through right now, that they can't fix basic dumb fucking annoying things like this.
hacker gets his IP address, either by knowing where he lives in real life, or potentially if Adin leaked that information, then the hackers have the ability to overload his internet so much that his stream lags and makes him unable to stream. Adin was trying to fulfill his online gambling requirements one day when a hacker kept taking down his stream. Out of frustration, he called one of his friends, Your Rage, who was another very popular Twitch streamer. Adin didn't realize Rage was live when he said this.
He did you again? He got you again?
Yes, bro. Like, this kid's a...
Whoa!
I censored the word, but he said the homophobic F slur. Adin
Yeah. Listen. You should definitely cycle that out of your vocabulary, guys. But sometimes it comes out. You know? I used to be an edgy kid that used to say a bunch of crazy shit. And like, it's very rare that I get that angry, but sometimes I'll say something like that in private. I'm not proud of myself. I try not to say it, you know, but it's definitely not appropriate publicly, of course. So, you know, you shouldn't do that, Adin. Bad boy, you know?
was not making fun of a gay person. He was angry at someone who was hacking him, but the context did not matter, and Adin was about to get banned. At first, Your Rage tried to say that it was his friend from high school that said the slur and not Adin. And still to this day, they never fully admit that it was Adin. This is all alleged. After all we really have is just that audio, but there isn't a real reason to believe it wasn't Adin. And after the clip was blown up on Twitter by Jake Lucky, Adin received his longest ban of all time.
There's something about Jake Lucky, huh? I don't know, man. How do you guys feel about Jake Lucky?
40 days, Adin was banned from Twitch.
Damn.
Funny enough, this actually wasn't huge news. Adin had been banned many times before, and nobody knew how long this would be. And most people just took his side because they didn't think he had any true bad intentions. Usually, Adin comments on his bans, but this time, he just kind of disappeared for 6 weeks. When he returned to streaming after his long ban in June, he had about 70,000 average viewers. The long Twitch ban did not hurt his numbers at all. In fact, it probably helped him. Giving the fans a break allowed them to be hungry for more content. As if things couldn't get any better, he got blessed with a whole new content lane that he could capitalize on: Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate was the most searched for man in the world in July of 2022. Basically, overnight, this man was everywhere. Clips of him that were causing controversy were at the top of everyone's algorithm on every social media platform. Despite Tate being everywhere, there was still a large mystery to him. Was he just a character? Was this just a meme? Is he actually filthy rich? Is he a criminal? With massive streamers like Hasanabi and XQC denouncing Tate's ideals, Adin was the largest streamer willing to talk to him. Andrew Tate and Adin's collab stream would become Adin's most popular stream in his whole career. Well, at least in terms of YouTube views. Every single person on the internet was talking about Tate. Most people were bashing his worldviews, but Adin's community loved him, and Adin took a liking
because he's a scumbag. Let's just be clear there, quick.
to Tate as well. In the beginning, Tate was mostly farming Adin's viewers to promote his Hustlers University course, and Adin was just picking his brain for the content. But Andrew quickly realized that Adin was reluctant to say how he truly felt on certain subjects, citing—
I doubt that's true. I mean, well, you know what? That's let me not be stupid. That is, I'm sure that there's a level of truth to that, because people do feel like they can't say certain things on the internet, and sometimes it can be a little weird. But I also feel like there's most likely a factor of not just like, this is how it probably happened. Adin probably had a few things he might have thought that he wanted to express, but he's like, I better not, because it'll disrupt some people in some capacity. And Tate was like, no, you should express them, and then exacerbated that. So maybe Adin had like a silly question about, like, you know, let's say whatever. I don't know. Who knows what it would be. Something small. And then Tate's like, oh yeah, are you sure that your issue is that small? And then kind of starts implanting ideas into his head. I mean, Tate is like almost a father figure to this kid, so I wouldn't doubt that it's much more than just some silly little, like, oh, he had some ideas that were his own. I doubt it. I'm sure it's like ideas that were exacerbated, you know?
that Adin was afraid the Matrix would cancel him, which to some degree is true. All content creators need to abide by censorship standards, which can be dangerous to break. Even I get tired of censoring myself. They stream together often after the—
You wouldn't say porn star before you said corn star. I think you're probably overcorrecting. You know, I just say porn all the time. I'll say pedophile in a video and it gets monetized. I don't do it at the beginning, obviously, but like most people can, and people are just like overly worried about it. So
first couple were a success, and Tate became somewhat of a mentor to Adin.
Bro, you got like the best mentality, like brain, like ethic I've ever seen in my fucking life. What the
wow, incredible.
Everything you're saying is just like that you've said is literally facts. I agree with like 100% of everything.
However, it wasn't long before Andrew Tate was banned from almost every social media platform, which was when Adin needed him the most.
As of right now, guys, I am no longer in a relationship. I am single.
Adin and his longtime girlfriend Pammy broke up. This affected him tremendously, and he didn't talk about the details too much publicly, but just said they decided to go their separate ways.
Oh, I wonder if it had anything to do with Andrew Tate being a sexist sex trafficker. A sexist trafficker, holy fuck.
Immediately after, he started doing e-dates where he was the one that a bunch of women were trying to get a date with. Every day, he had OnlyFans models and women fawning over him to boost his ego. His fans loved it, and they saw a new spark in Adin. Single Adin's content is 10 times better, not even just for the content with girls, but he just seems more energetic and fun in general. Pammy.
Wow. Isn't that sad? I mean, like, I get it. Being flirted with makes you feel good about yourself, of course, but I mean, it's fine if he wasn't ready for a relationship. But are we saying that this kid was like fucking, like he broke up with his girlfriend to get compliments from OnlyFans models, and because, or more than that, because his viewers thought it was really cool when he would get flirted with? Because that's kind of cringe, no? Isn't that kind of fucking cringe? Okay.
He was really holding Adin back. It's crazy how great his content is again. However, Lil Uzi Vert disagreed. He thought Adin should get his girl back.
You should have broke up with that girl.
I know, bro.
On top of that, Twitch also banned.
I like how he said, I know, bro. Do you think he actually believes that? I feel like Adin will just say whatever, like, to be agreeable. I know, man. Oh, I'm really enjoying being single. You should get back with her. Oh, I know. Does he have, like I just wonder, because I don't know the full context of the situation.
Gambling from their platform, which most people saw as a net positive for the app. But streamers like Adin, who were raking in millions of dollars per month from the site, were furious. The only type of content Adin had was related to his relationship status. He would swipe through girls on Tinder, bring OnlyFans girls on stream, and kiss them on the mouth, which some people saw as his most down bad moment, but his
He looks a little uncomfortable.
audience thought he was super lit. Once he asked one of the girls to be his girlfriend, his chat started to change their opinion. Never thought I would see Adin in such a low spot, especially in streaming. Bring back the old times, dear friend. Andrew needs to save his son. Just like with all of Adin's content, it's hard to tell what is real and what is just a viral stunt. This very well could have been knowing his own community would make—
This is why maybe you shouldn't put too much of your private life on the internet, because people are going to be very speculative about it.
Make fun of him. It was likely all for entertainment, because he just hopped from one girl to another.
I was just curious, Nadia. You know what I'm saying? I'm in LA right now. Do you want to go on a date with me?
A what?
A date with me?
Is this Nadia, like the Counter-Strike girl that people say is a cheater? Is that what we're talking about right now?
On date.
A date. A date with Adin Ross.
Because they're saying—
You know what?
No. It's just,
I'm not coming back.
Stop, Karina, come on.
I'm not coming back.
He's gonna smell the chair, isn't he? Incredible.
However, something that was very real was his ex-girlfriend starting an OnlyFans, which obviously bothered him. It kind of seemed like they were both
Why? They're not together anymore, who cares?
battling to make each other jealous. Adin's fans were saying that she hit rock bottom, but they were just trying to protect Adin's feelings, because I'm sure he wasn't excited about her new career. And just when Adin needed him the most, the top G returned after a long hiatus, and immediately questions Adin's new lifestyle.
Adin, what are you doing with your life?
Come on, bro. Already off the jump? You don't want to catch up? Hey, how's it going? Were you new
What's the point in catching up? What's the point in catching up with you when I basically know the answer? You're sitting in Miami doing hedonistic bull.
No.
Sitting around, doing drugs, drinking, doing absolutely nothing important, hanging around with a bunch of losers. That's what you're doing.
Viewers shifted their alliance to Tate, and they realized he was right about Adin's lifestyle, but Adin didn't listen. He kept—
Was he right? The guy who literally made his money from webcam models, talking about someone else's hedonistic lifestyle is a funny gag.
living his dopamine-boosting, pleasure-filled lifestyle. Eventually, he would fly to Dubai to meet Andrew Tate in person, which seemed to be the catalyst to some real change. Adin did his classic performative suspect humor, but Tate convinced Adin to get into shape and try to make better life choices. He came back to the USA on a mission, now turning his body transformation into content. They made a deal that if Tate could do 150 push-ups in 5 minutes, Adin had to shave his head bald. Then after Andrew did it with ease, Adin asked for redemption. If he did 30 push-ups in a row, he could keep his hair. These were the push-ups.
Come on. Come on. 6, come on. 7, come on. 8, come on. Come on.
Even though it took him 3 weeks, he eventually shaved his head bald. Just a couple days before he did it, Andrew Tate got arrested in Romania after being investigated for potential human trafficking crimes.
Yeah.
Adin stood his ground and said that he supports—
Let's just be very clear here, okay? All right, if you listen to Andrew Tate, I have to say this every time we talk about it because I have to qualify everything. He did it. If you listen to Andrew Tate, he did it. He's bragged about it, okay? We're at that point. I will link the video in the description once again because I always have to do this if you're interested in seeing it. But he's effectively admitted to like using the lover boy method, taking away girls' passports, not letting them leave unless they said they're in love with him, treating these women like prostitutes, using her as bottom bitch to, help facilitate the basically what we can consider some form of a grooming process, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I can't go through everything every time I talk about this.
Andrew Tate and does not believe he is guilty, whereas the entirety of the internet celebrated Andrew Tate's imprisonment. But just 1 week into his bald new year, he randomly got a 7-day ban on Twitch. Again, not really clear as to why. If you haven't noticed by now, Twitch often doesn't state why people get banned.
I think it was because he was, and maybe I'm wrong about this one, but I remember there was one of the bans where and maybe that was a permanent ban, so maybe it's not this one. It was because he was on Kick for like a half an hour, like dual streaming or something, and he showed his chat on Twitch. Or I think that's what it was, and like people were constantly saying slurs. So
just remind those creators, don't get too comfortable.
I just got banned on Twitch. I'm not as mad and devastated as I would be, you know, a year or two ago, because I think I'm at a point in my mind where I realize I trust God, and everything happens for a reason.
It seems like Adin getting banned throughout
there are other alternatives.
His career has been good for him. It allows him to at least slow down and rethink everything he does. Usually after his bans, he returns as the best version of himself, and his fans love it. And this time, that couldn't be more true. In January of 2023, he returned to Twitch, taking his fitness journey as serious as possible, telling his followers that he was not having sex.
Is he? Okay, that's weird. Is he still engaging in his fitness journey, or did he give up? I wonder.
Doing drugs or drinking alcohol. He was going to fully focus on bettering his health this year. However, some people thought this lifestyle change was a warning sign. Hasanabi, another massive Twitch streamer mostly known for his political commentary, predicted that Adin was going to turn into another Sneeko.
If he keeps going down this pipeline, he's going to turn into like another Sneeko. He's just going to be banned from everything. He just
probably. I mean, like based on all the context that we know, that's probably not a wrong assertion. But I don't think Adin's smart enough to become like a Sneeko, because even those. I like to think I do like to think that there once was an intelligent mind in that young boy, in that young man. Now he's a boy because he treats women like shit. You know, and he's friends with rape apologists who tell women that if they were raped that they should have picked better men. So you can't really be a man if you're friends with people like that. But yeah,
needs to save himself. It's good that he's working out. It's good that he's like bettering himself. These are concepts that I'm on board with. But this like no-fap, weird right-wing shit is not good.
Hassan clearly believes that working out and pushing a positive and healthy lifestyle is good, but he predicted that Adin would take it too far, that this red pill nonsense typically leads young men to spiral into far right-wing belief systems that he thinks are generally bad. This was definitely an aggressive take, and was probably based on the fact that Andrew Tate was Adin's mentor. In fact, Tate announced that Adin will be one of his 5 allowed visitors to prison. However, Adin disappeared.
I basically got a call. I'm not gonna say specifically who it was, but you know who you are. And you basically said, hey man, if you keep doing controversial stuff and you keep saying certain things and you keep basically, you know, promoting certain things on your stream, we're gonna have to take you down indefinitely.
Adin believes that his new lifestyle choices were the reason that Twitch was trying to silence him. It seemed like Twitch was okay with promoting gambling, alcohol consumption, prawn addiction, and a degenerative lifestyle. But when he tried to better himself and convince his audience to improve their mental and physical health, that he was being threatened.
That's not it at all. It was him becoming more of a provocateur into like probably social issues, and then again like on his screen having chats spamming slurs and him just like showing it on the screen like a lot of people who do Twitch, they have their chat in the corner and it was like full of slurs. That's why he got his like last ban. I'm pretty sure why.
It's the last time Adin was going to let Twitch hold their power over his head, so he announced to the world that he would start streaming on Kick.
So guys, I'm not permanently full-time going there. I want to feel it out and I want to make sure my community f***s with it too. So I'll still stream on Twitch if that's what you guys want. But what I will say is this. I'm going to Kick this week.
Kick is a live streaming platform that looks and operates almost exactly like Twitch. Although it's not very clear who owns Kick, there's a lot of evidence that supports that Edward Craven, one of the founders of Stake.com, is a part owner of the site. Another part owner is Trainwrecks TV, who was the largest gambling streamer on Twitch. Kick's main differentiating factors is that they pay their streamers 95% of their subscriber money, and Kick takes 5%. They also have extremely lenient terms of service, so when Adin said he could do whatever he wanted, he wasn't lying. He went to Kick, streamed the Super Bowl, which is dangerously illegal, and even pulled up the front page of Pornhub while streaming to tens of thousands of people, mostly underage kids. As if it couldn't get any worse, the chat is totally unfiltered, so the comment section is flooded with just about every racial slur you could ever imagine. The stream was clipped and went extremely viral on Twitter. Everyone agreed that this was a stupid decision, and Adin ultimately apologized for it, citing his own hypocrisy since he no longer watches prawn and thinks it's very unhealthy. Plus, he's been profiting off prawn stars and OF models for years now. He went back and forth from streaming on Twitch, then back to Kick for about 10 days in February. It was during this time where he was negotiating an extremely large exclusive deal with Kick, similar to when Ninja signed to the Microsoft-owned Mixer streaming platform for between $20 to $30 million in 2019.
And they're giving me tens of M's if I go full time. If you guys, you know, if I go full time. And equity
Trainwreck said that Adin's deal is complicated and has a bundle of things in his contract that isn't just a streaming deal, but he did confirm that the dollar amount is the largest streaming deal of all time, which would mean that Adin's take-home payout would have to be at a minimum of $30 million. Once he secured this deal, he was permanently banned on Twitch, forever. He was given a reason that he did not make public, but he hinted that it could have been related to things he was doing on his Kick live streams. Adin would not be the first example of an unfair ban or an unknown permanent ban, and since
yeah, again, and like, because I remember when I looked into it, it had to do with the fact that he had like he ended up putting a bunch of shit on his own chat. That was a bunch of like racial slurs in his own chat, and it was on the screen, and apparently it was shown on Twitch. I don't think that it was necessarily an unfair ban if that's the case. The problem is that Twitch won't be explicit about the reason why, and so like, you know, we can only really speculate. But
this was his 8th time being banned in total, I don't think anyone was really surprised. So now that Adin has secured generational wealth and no longer has to abide by any rules and restrictions, he basically has full...
I guess you could consider generational wealth. I've never... Okay, I'm just thrown off. Usually you say like generational wealth in like the context of somebody has had wealth from like their parents. But I guess he has enough to create his own generational wealth. I just wasn't expecting to hear the term suggested like that. It threw me off, sorry.
Full freedom to say and do whatever he wants. So he decided to finally state how he feels about trans people. There are only 2 genders was tweeted, which got over 500,000 likes, 50 million impressions, and 3 million engagements.
I'm not coming at the gay community, the LGBT. I'm not coming at them, bro. I'm coming at the cancel culture.
Adin claims that his comment was not transphobic. He was using...
Well, no, he was trying to be provocative. Like, plenty of people have this perspective, and nobody cares. The problem is he was just saying it as a hot take on Twitter to be provocative, and then people were like, "Oh, look, like the guy who historically tries to insert himself into controversy for attention is doing it again. Like, oh, look at this guy, what a loser." Nobody canceled him for that. He was just trying to be a provocateur. You know, there's no reason to throw out like hot takes all over the internet. It's the same thing if someone's like, God isn't real on Twitter. Like, you know, you wouldn't see the same negative interaction. But the point is that like it's a hot take. It's like for no reason. It's just like it's attention bait. It's childish.
Using this as an example of how cancel culture will try to take you down if you say something they disagree with. His comment was not very edgy, but he knew people would freak out, and they did. He then attacked...
Man super chatted $1.99. There was a crazy Adin Ross debate today.
Oh yeah? With who?
Other streamers.
And all you fucking streamers I'm gonna clap back and respond to. Stop this fucking cap, bro. You don't give a fuck. You are signed under Twitch contract.
To which XQC replied the best.
That's like going to a spot, like going to a church for people that are praying and be like, God isn't real. No gods are here, lol. What are you guys doing? Gods aren't there, lol. And then you say, am I wrong? Am I wrong though?
It doesn't really make sense why Adin is doing political hot takes. He has no intention of doing actual research or trying to attack any complicated problem. His biggest rebuttal is that people on the internet need to go outside because their reality cannot simply be the same reality he is living in. His next hot take...
I mean, it's just interesting because he's somebody who got famous streaming like 8+ hours a day on the internet and is completely absorbed by terminally online like perspective. So it's kind of a hot take to say go outside when you literally live inside. I think that streamers are some of the last people to be able to tell people that like what they're doing. Which is ironic because I tell people they're terminally online all the time. But you know what? I only stream 3 hours a day, okay guys? So I'm allowed to say it. Plus, like I have a grounding in the real world, and I don't think that somebody like Adin really does. You know? You need to make sure you ground yourself because you'll very quickly go into like this terminally online fucking insane state if you don't. So
was...
So all you guys that get to pick your pronouns, my pronouns is kill/them, okay?
Which was followed by an apology.
And I just wanted from the bottom of my heart, apologize for absolutely fucking nothing, okay? I'm Adin Ross, and Adin Ross is what the fuck he says.
Which was followed by this statement a few days later.
I just don't fuck. The only thing I know about this community is you guys are homophobic and transphobic. I don't fuck with that because y'all don't know what it's like. You know, people... You just don't know what it's like. You're not in their shoes.
So basically, it's tough to know how he really feels about anything. So think...
I think it's pretty clear that he doesn't personally have any like ill will towards trans people or gay people, but he knows it'll get a reaction from his audience, and he's more concerned with making money than he is with like being honest. But then he feels bad because he's probably not a terrible person, and then he apologizes, and then we restart the cycle over and over again. Part of it could be intentional because he wants to try to downplay the negative, be like, you know what, I said a bad thing, got his views and attention, it started to go down, so then he apologized. So you'd be like, oh, you're just kidding, like kind of like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and it's like, oh, well, at least he apologized. But it seems like he's somewhat intentional about being a provocateur, just to be like a little baby for attention, and then like saying, never mind, LOL, you know.
to yourself, is Adin's behavior on Kick really all that different from the stuff we showed in the beginning and throughout this video? His whole rise to fame was because he is an edgy teenager. All of his success came from him being edgy, toxic, or playing dumb. He hasn't changed, he's just 22 now, more popular, and extremely rich. It's understandable why people get angry at him, but his behavior shouldn't be unexpected. He is constantly contradicting himself, pretending to be dumber than he is, walking back on things that he says, telling people to not take him seriously, and that everything he does is just jokes. And it's probably all just because he is bored. His streams consist of him reacting to stuff on the internet.
I doubt it's not bored. Well, maybe there is a level of boredom to it. I think a lot of it's just because it makes him money. So he says it all.
Talking to girls with their chests exposed, playing video games, and gambling. Even though he will tell you that you need to go outside, get off the internet, OnlyFans girls are poison, and gambling is an addictive habit. He likely gets bored in his mansion, and when he's bored, he'll say something to get a rise out.
And lonely. I think that it's something to consider. How many friends do these people have? And you might be like, well, Papa God, they have so many friends. Look at all of his friends that stream. Just so you guys know, I'm gonna tell you that it's very rare that like these people, these streamers, are real friends with these other people. There's always a huge aspect of they're also popular, and there's like a benefit from all of them hanging. I look pretty big right now. Oh, there's like a mutual benefit. So you can't really know if somebody's a true friend in a lot of these instances that are big streamers when they like play off of each other's popularity. And it's one of the things that makes people so lonely, that it's hard to develop like actual relationships with people based on like actually wanting to be around them.
Out of people, play it off like it's just a joke, apologize, and then rinse and repeat. He's never going to be canceled, he's never going to be deplatformed, and he has made enough money that he doesn't actually have to work another day in his life. He is going to do whatever he wants, and it's up for you to decide if you want to give him any more of your attention.
Well, I guess I did with this video.